Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Long Beach City College Vikings Athletics. Tonight it is men's basketball, the first of two in a doubleheader, men's women's, against the LASW College Cougars. Joined alongside by Edwin Montejo. My name is Sean Quinn. We'll be taking you alongside for the action here tonight.
Yes, hello, folks. Ooh. Great drive.
That first shot put up by number 2, LSW Bari.
Two-step layup.
Coming alongside the far side of the court here is number 0, Jacob Topete.
Oh. Seemed to be a foul.
First foul of the game is called against LSW Bari of the Cougars. That is his first personal and first team foul in the first half of play.
Seems like doing a bit of holding there.
Over to Unique Yandel Parker, who goes up for 3. Rebound by
Number 21.
Rebound by Unique Yandel Parker. The shot was put up by Franklin Chambers.
Number 21 is not Franklin.
Foul called on number 11, Franklin.
The first foul against the Vikings is called. That is against number 11, Franklin Chambers, his first personal and first team foul.
And you gotta watch out for those fouls because it could really damage on your ability to be on the court.
That was Justin Haynes putting up another 2 for LA Southwest.
Ooh.
Topete for 2, puts it up, not able to get it in. Rebound by number 0, Marion Shackelford. Now over on the near side of the court. LSW Bari's got the ball, passes it over to Shackelford. To number 15, who goes up looking for 2, does not get it. Over to number 31. Back to Bari. Back to Shackelford. Shackelford goes up for 3, and he sinks it in. The first 3-point made of the game on a roundabout play
And he was well
goes
standed,
to the Cougars.
well standed, well shot up. It was, wow. And he's
Topete back at the 3-point line. Hands it off to Kassan White. Now back to the sophomore, Brandon Serta. It is sophomore night here, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon Serta goes up, gets 2 points in what could be his last home game.
Oh, he seemed to have slipped there.
That far side court pass goes just out of the hands of the intended player and out of bounds. So the Vikings retain possession. Topete with the ball, brings it across half court. Over to Kassan White, shoots it over to Unique Yandel Parker.
Oh, yeah, he tried to take it and obviously backfired. So they need to have been tipped over.
Over to Kassan White, he moves over, looking for someone to pass to. He throws it to Brandon Serta. Serta loses the ball. It gets picked up. The officials call for a kick. So the Vikings ball out of bounds.
Yeah, with all the footwork the footwork drills, you must control your feet, and it's what any basketball player is meant to control. Here's Franklin.
Franklin Chambers with the ball, puts it up, looks for the 2. Not there. Rebound.
Oh, that was a kick. Yeah, it was right on the ground, and the ball managed to hit his feet, more so his shin.
The ball gets kicked. It'll be Cougars ball out of bounds. To put it inbounds is number 15, Joel Baez, who hands it off to number 2, LSW Bari. They come across midcourt, 2 to 21, back to 2. To Shackelford, who goes up for 3, and he sinks it in. His second 3-point shot of the game.
This is starting to look like a constant 3-point shooters. For
Shackelford goes 2 for 2 so far from the 3. Franklin Chambers goes up and he puts it in for 2.
Under the rim.
Back across midcourt now. The ball in possession of Joel Baez. Hands it off to LSW Bari. to number 31. He puts it up. It's offline. Rebounded by Baez, who goes up, passes back to 31. Now over to 21, who goes up and gets it for 2.
Oh, see, those were constant passes. They knew right exactly where each other were going to be,
That 2
and they
points.
just executed.
That 2 points made by Justin Haynes, who's a 6'7" sophomore forward from Westchester High School.
Oh, it seems to be Vikings ball.
Ball rolls out of bounds on the pass attempt. Brandon Serta out of bounds, inbounding the ball. Over to Kassan White. Kassan throws it to Franklin Chambers, who goes up, looks for an open spot, does not get it, hands it off to 21. Back to Kassan, who goes up, and it's offline. Rebounded by number 21, Justin Haynes, who gives it to number 2.
Oh,
Back to Haynes. His 2-point try is off the line. Brandon Serta for 3, sinks it in.
oh, and that'll be Vikings' first 3.
That's the sophomore guard from Frisco, Texas. Yes, you heard that right. All the way from Frisco, Texas. A foul on that last shot attempt.
That was
Foul
a
was-
great block, but the foul is what costed them.
Foul is called against Jacob Topete, the 5'9" freshman guard from Downey.
Number 2,
We'll have our
Allison
first
Berry at the line,
free
shooting
throws
2.
of the night. At the line to shoot is number 2, Alisine Bari for the Cougars.
Right in.
His first shot goes up, and it's offline. With 1 remaining, his second shot goes in. Vikings have to inbound the ball. Topete inbounds to Serta. Serta brings it across half court. He's being blocked heavily by number 2. Hands it off to Jacob Topete, who puts it up, and it's offline.
It was a nice 2-step, but he managed. Oh, and
The ball goes out of bounds, ruled by the officials to have last been touched by the Vikings, so the ball, or last been touched by the Cougars, so the ball remains in possession of the Vikings.
oh,
Almost a backcourt violation there.
yeah, you'd hate to see those happen.
Topete goes up for 2, it's offline, rebound by Justin Haynes, who passes down court to number 2, Alisine Bari. Bari sitting behind the 3-point line, looking for somewhere to go, being guarded by Brandon Serta. He passes it to Amarian Shackelford, who puts it up for 2.
Marion Shackelford for 2.
Inbounds for the Vikings. Brandon Serta has the ball. He's at the 3-point line. Over to Kassan White, who goes up, and he sinks the 3.
It's very well synced in with a nice, decent amount of airtime and able to manage in for 3.
Kassan White gets the second 3-point shot of the night for the Vikings. Number 15, Joel Baez was looking for the shot. We have a foul incoming. That being
Foul called
on number 32, Kassan White. We'll have our first substitutions of the night coming in for the Cougars.
Number
It will
15,
be
Joel Baez at the line, shooting 2.
number 22, Kalen Arnold, and number 1, Martise Mitchell, checking in for the first time tonight for the Cougars.
And number 22, Kalen Arnold.
Joel Baez will take his second of 2 free throws. If he makes it, it'll be 16-12
All right, 2
in
substitutions.
favor of the Cougars.
2 substitutions means more energy, and therefore the Vikings are going to have to step it up. Oh, and it was nearly stolen by number 0.
Topete was looking to pass to Franklin Chambers. His pass was offline, and Amarian Shackelford came in and was trying to get the steal and score.
See, when you try to do swoops like that, you got to make sure you can maintain the level of how you're in the deep into the court and hope to make it through.
As that last 2-point layup goes offline for Franklin Chambers. 3 men on 1.
Oh.
Jump ball has been called. Turning over possession to the Vikings. So Jacob Topete inbounds over to Franklin Chambers. And Frank's gonna bring it across half court. At the 3, looking to go in to get 2, he puts it up, and it's offline. Rebound by Mitchell. Over to Baez. To Arnold. We have a travel called against the Cougars. Vikings will retain possession.
Yeah, you have to watch over and see and make sure you get the proper 2 steps and don't go after. Obviously, more than 2 steps equals a travel.
The first substitution for the Vikings of the night coming in is number 35, Jerome Wilson. Along with number 4, Kane Young. Now we talk about Jerome Wilson about halfway through the season as he goes up for 3, and he puts it in from beyond the 3-point line. About 5 steps back from the line, he puts it in.
All right, now this is a shot that the Vikings needed and hopefully to have in a higher score before the
Shackelford looking for 2, goes up and he gets it in. Inbound from Chambers to Brandon Serta. Serta brings it across. He's at the 3. Backwards pass goes out of bounds. He was looking for Franklin Chambers. Could not get it there. So the Cougars will retain possession on the near corner.
And a little upsetment coming from Franklin Chambers as looking for the refs to see if they were gonna call in a Cougars outside.
0 to 1, back to 0. 0 goes up, and he gets another 3-point shot.
All right, so currently LBCC 15-22. Will that change here?
Around the horn they go. Brandon Serta with possession. Fakes the jump, throws it over, but that last attempt was offline. 15 to 1. 1 goes up, and he airballs it. Franklin Chambers with the rebound. He's going to run across half court. Laterals it to Kane Young, number 4, who goes up for 3, and it's offline. Rebound by Justin Haynes.
The energy.
Gives it to Shackelford. Shackelford to Arnold. Oh, his shot gets blocked, picked up by Mitchell.
Oh, illegal contact.
Offensive foul called on number 1, Marquise.
An offensive foul was called against the Cougars, against Martise Mitchell, his first personal.
Number 23, Traven Thompson.
Traven Thompson checks in for the Vikings for the first time tonight. So what we were saying was about halfway through the season, as he goes up again for 3, this time he's off. Rebound by Franklin Chambers.
Oh, and he swooped in just in time.
Chambers throws it to Kane Young. Looking. Traven Thompson with the ball. Brandon Serta about 6 steps behind the 3. Working his way around. Back to Thompson. Thompson to Young. 5 seconds on the shot clock. They've got to put it up. And it's offline.
Good job, Jerome.
Franklin Chambers was looking for the steal, could not keep a hold of it and keep the ball in bounds.
Yeah, and again, you have to make sure you're maintaining equal space of when you're outside and inside the court, as he tried to do, again, another risky swoop. Well,
re-entering for LA Southwest, Alassane Bari. So Jerome Wilson, about halfway through the season, at the start of this season, he had a full afro, and about halfway through the season, he cut off his afro, and since then he has improved in his shot accuracy. Some of his teammates are saying that it is because he cut the fro that he has gotten better.
He replaces number
Too much
21,
top weight, maybe?
Well, they say the clothes make the man. I guess in his case, it would be his hair.
With a foul against the Vikings. Franklin Chambers goes up and he puts it in.
Franklin Chambers for 2.
Oh, and see, Franklin's a fast one.
He got down the court in about 3 seconds.
He was a fast one, probably as faster than a Cougar.
Ball is loose. Rolling down the court. Vikings pick it up. Franklin Chambers gets the steal and the score.
And Franklin does it again. That top speed
Another steal.
performance. Oh,
This time to Brandon Serta. He goes up for 3. Puts it in. Vikings tie it at 22 with 9:54 remaining in the first half.
oh, and the Vikings are picking it up. Oh, and it's a timeout, Cougars.
Because of that action there, the Cougars are forced to take their first timeout of the night. It's a 30-second timeout. But my oh my, what's some action there to sort of flip the script a little bit and get the momentum back in favor of the Vikings.
Yeah, beginning of the quarter, it seemed to be a very slow-paced offense and defense for the Vikings, but now they seem to pick it up, playing a hot potato. And with Franklin Chambers with 2, it managed to pick up and go full court twice, not once, but twice. Managed to go on full speed.
Frank went full speed down the court 2 times, gets the 2, then they steal. Brandon Serta gets the ball, puts it up for 3, and just like that, we're tied at 22 with 9:51 remaining.
And you gotta admire what this kid's done back in.
So it's going to be
Back in
LA
Long Beach,
Southwest
Jordan.
ball coming out of the timeout. Inbounded to Alassane Bari, who just short passes it to Shackelford.
Oh,
Shackelford is looking. He laterals to Baez. Baez back to Shackelford. Shackelford goes up for 3, and it's offline. Rebound picked up by Franklin Chambers. He goes down the court again, looking. Just
oh,
offline.
and this time he couldn't.
The rebound by Bari. He goes up. And a very questionable foul call against Brandon Serta on that last attempt by Bari. It looked like a normal block to me, but the officials said otherwise.
Officials do tend to have very questionable fouls in the past few games, and now
Bari
this.
looking for his second of 2 free throws. Entering the game for the first time, or re-entering for LA Southwest was number 31, Solomon Ray.
Oh,
Justin Haynes for 2.
Kane Young has the ball. He's looking for anywhere to go. He goes up for 3, and he sinks it in.
Kane Young from
well standing in.
This is looking to be, man, oh man, it's just hard to tell. It's hard to say, but so far, this game is a lot of back and forth action, and this is in for a good fight in this conference matchup. 3C2A South Coast Conference matchup. Foul upcoming. Looks to be against the Vikings.
foul called on number 23.
It seems
Yes.
like it's going to be a 3rd time a player for LA Southwest is going to go on the free throw line.
Traven Thompson gets called on the foul this time. At the line for the Cougars to shoot 2 is Joel Baez. His first shot goes around the rim and bounces back out. Re-entering is Martise Mitchell. Joel Baez is a 6'5" sophomore guard from Archbishop Stepinac High School in Yonkers, New York. This time his second shot goes in. Inbounded by Jerome Wilson over to Kane Young, who throws it to Brandon Serta. Serta brings it across half court over the Long Beach logo.
Oh, it's close for a steal.
Jerome Wilson has the ball. He puts it up for Traven Thompson. Kane Young gets the bat away. Back to Brandon. He's looking to go. And we have a foul against the Cougars. Number 15, Joel Baez gets called for it. And Brandon Serta will be the first Viking to step to the free throw line of the night.
Brandon Serta at the line with 1 remaining.
Brandon is one that's known to be able to put in those free throws on the fouls, as he puts in both of his 2. With just over 8 minutes left to play in the first half. Bari to Baez, back to Bari, now back to Baez. Baez comes into the key, looking. Almost a steal by Traven Thompson.
And it's a steal.
This time, Franklin Chambers comes up with a steal. He gives a little push, goes up for 2. Offline on that one.
It was still an amazing drive there by Franklin.
These Vikings are fighting hard.
Oh, and a 1-up it seems.
Offensive foul called on number 1, Martise Mitchell. That is his 2nd personal. 4th team foul for LASW.
Offensive foul was called against number 1, Martise Mitchell. So the Vikings regain possession. Brandon Serta with the ball. Looks to get to Traven Thompson, and the ball goes right in and out of his hands. Back into the game is Unique Yandel Parker, the 6'5" freshman guard from Kapolei High School in Honolulu.
Yeah, must give out love to people in Hawaii.
Bari brings it back across half court, over to Baez. Franklin with a slap and steal, over to Jerome Wilson, back to Franklin, goes up, gets it in for 2.
Oh, and the way he was waiting for his defender to come on and hit the jump, it was a very key to his layup.
That shot offline, rebound, back to Franklin, and it's in.
Oh, Franklin Chambers is having a game.
Franklin Chambers has picked up the pace for the Vikings, and he has now scored quite a bit in these last couple minutes or so. As Bari goes up, and his 2-point is good.
Allison Berry for 2.
Brandon Serta with the ball. Over to Kane Young. Kane fakes, now throws, and it's in.
Oh, and that was
for 2.
And that was a great fake coming in from number 4.
His feet were just a little bit inside the line, so it's only good for 2. Vikings now up 33-27 with just under 6 left in the first.
Double coverage.
Mitchell puts it up. His 3 is offline. Rebound goes out of bounds. Vikings regain possession. Re-entering for the Cougars, number 22, Kaylin Arnold. Brandon Serta comes up. He's looking for somewhere to go. He's got defense. Puts it up for 2. Just off.
Foul called
against the Vikings. It was called against Unique Yandel Parker.
That may have been a goaltending.
That is the Vikings' 7th team foul. So now LA Southwest goes into the single bonus.
Yeah, the Vikings seem to be having trouble avoiding all of these fouls and giving LA Southwest an advantage into the free throw line.
So Martise Mitchell goes up, shooting the 1-and-1. Rebound over to Kane Young, who passes it to Jerome Wilson. Jerome puts it up for 3. It goes offline. Rebounded by Shackelford, who just hands it off to Bari. Bari back to Shackelford, back to Bari. Now over to Arnold. Arnold looking. Comes back inside the key. Ball is loose. It's on the ground. We have 3 seconds in the key called against Kylan Arnold. So the Vikings will retain possession. Jerome Wilson is the one who inbounds to Kane Young. And Kane is going to bring it across midcourt. Now looking inside the key. A foul called against Kylan Arnold of the Cougars.
That is his first personal 15th foul for
Fifth
LA
team
Southwest.
foul of the first half for LA Southwest. Vikings ball out of bounds. Jerome Wilson gets the inbound from Brandon Serta and puts it in for 2.
He was in the
So
right
the
place,
Vikings
the right time.
now lead 35-27. Bari passes it to Arnold. Arnold goes up, puts it in for 2. His feet were just inside the line. Jerome Wilson with a long pass from Brandon Serta. Wilson back to Serta. Serta goes inside the key, goes up for 2. It's offline, batted away. Rebound picked up by Shackelford. He goes up and he puts it in.
Marion Shackelford for 2.
The inbound from Franklin Chambers over to Jerome Wilson and now over to Kane Young. Kane Young over here on the far side of the court, looking for somewhere to go. Calls over Brandon Serta, doesn't get him, now hands it off to Franklin Chambers. Chambers comes back behind the three-point line. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Little jersey tug there, not called. His shot does not go. Rebound. And a steal. Ball's loose. It hits Franklin Chambers' foot. He regains, comes up inside the key, puts it up for 2. It was off, but Unique Yandel Parker was right there to put it in.
Beautiful dunk in by Parker. It was very much needed at
Martise
that
Mitchell
time.
puts up the 2 there. 37-33 with just under 3 minutes left in play in the first half. Kane Young back over here on the far side. He goes inside the key, fakes. Now over to Jerome. Jerome gives it off to Brandon Serta. He's at the three-point line. Now he comes inside the key, puts it up for 2. And we have a foul.
Foul called on number 2, Alicine Berry.
That was called against Alicine Berry of LA Southwest.
That is his second personal
6-team foul. Brandon Serta will be at the line, shooting 2. After the first shot, LA Southwest will bring back number 21, Justin Haynes, into the game. Serta's first shot goes up, and it goes in.
Heated words coming in from Cougars coach.
Cougars coach Mac Cleveland not very happy with that last call, voicing his displeasure. We have a timeout taken by the Vikings, 30 seconds in length. So as they take this 30-second timeout, what is there to talk about on this one? What can we say about this first half?
The back-to-back layups from Franklin Chambers were very impeccable.
That is a big one, yes indeed.
Aaron Cutton and in the...
As we have a look at Coach Barry Barnes here in his 15th year at Long Beach City College. Prior to becoming a head coach at Cal State Dominguez Hills, he was also a student athlete player for the men's basketball team at Long Beach City. So he comes back and now offers his advice and career path to these up-and-coming athletes.
All right, and here we are coming back into the game. Cougars ball.
Out of the timeout, it'll be as they have to dry off the court a little bit over by the Cougars sideline. Probably a little bit of water spillage from the drinks. Number 0, Omarion Shackelford, will be the one to inbound the ball once they do dry off the court. Grabbing that convenient Gatorade-sponsored towel from behind the basket.
Very convenient indeed.
And now we will resume play. He's out of, oh, wow. Well, we have there is Coach Barnes in disagreement. As I was looking down the line when Bari was coming down, it looked like his feet did step into the black barrier on the outside of the court, but it was not called by the official. Instead, we have a foul called against Unique Yandel Parker.
Again, it was these questionable fouls that the officials love to give.
Alicine Berry was at the line completing the three-point play after a questionable call. Kane Young goes up, puts the ball in for 2.
Correction. Kane Young for 2.
So now LA Southwest looking to do something to end the first half on a positive note, possibly even in the lead. As a scoop and steal by Brandon Serta over to Franklin Chambers, who goes up. Over to Kane Young.
Oh, and it seems like Franklin should have just took it himself.
Kane Young's shot gets blocked, but we do have a foul called on number 21, Justin Haynes.
That is his first personal 17.
So Kane Young will go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah.
He will shoot the 1-and-1 single bonus for the Vikings. Vikings get the single bonus for the first time tonight.
Yeah, even if they had the advantage to go to the free throw line, I think it would have been preferable had Chambers had taken the shot himself.
Traven Thompson comes back into the game for the Vikings. First shot for Kane was offline. He looks to put in the second of the 2. That would put the Vikings up 42-36, up by 6 with 2 minutes remaining. His second shot does go in. So the Vikings are up by 6 with 2 minutes remaining in the first half.
Inside the Gymnasium.
Shackelford over to Bari. Bari to Mitchell. Around the horn they go.
Now they're playing a bit of hot potato before shooting it.
That 3 is off the line. Rebound by Traven Thompson over to Brandon Serta. Franklin Chambers goes up, gets the 2.
Another one of another one of Chambers' layups.
Austin Bari out. Alicine Bari goes up for 2. Does not get it. The foul called on number 35, Jerome Wilson.
Number 2, Alicine Berry at the line, shooting 2.
Berry's at the line with 1 remaining. Vikings are now up to 9 team fouls. Both of Berry's shots go in. Inbounded by Kane Young, who passed it to Brandon Serta. Serta now being guarded by Berry. Serta goes up high in the air and puts it in for 2.
Very high. Number 2 of the Cougars seemed very confused on why a foul was called there.
And you can count the basket for Brandon Serta as the foul was called against Alicine Berry. So Serta will go to the line to try and convert the 3-point play. As we have substitutions entering for the Cougars is number 33, Javon Fisher, and Jacob Topete for the Vikings. Brandon Serta makes it a 9-point game with 1:06 left.
And the Cougars seem to do more drives before the first quarter ends.
As we come up to the end of the first half, what is it that you think the Cougars need to talk about in the locker room to try and battle back in this game?
Probably seems to probably try to do less a bit of the lob throws. Well, not lob throws, more like very distant passing in order of it to not being getting swiped by one of the Vikings.
Number 22, Kalen Arnold gets the steal and score. 20 seconds and counting remaining. Vikings are probably just going to run down the clock here. Brandon Serta with the ball. Jerome Wilson comes up to put up a block. Serta goes up for three, and it's airballed.
Oh, that's a sight you do not want to
So
see.
with 3.1 seconds remaining, Southwest will try and put up one final shot, but the ball rolls. That shot goes in but is not good. Your score after the first half, Vikings 47, LA Southwest 40. Stick around, second half is coming up after a short halftime break.
And we are back.
Welcome back for the second half of action in the first of two of the men's-women's doubleheader conference game against the LA Southwest Cougars. If you're just joining us, your score after the first half, Long Beach 47, Southwest 40.
Ooh, see. That was a hard-earned rebound, but he just couldn't execute.
Foul called on number 32, Kassan White of the
First
Vikings.
foul of the second half goes against Kassan White of the Vikings. First team foul.
Number 21,
Justin Haynes will be at the line, shooting two. Puts up the first one, goes in without a problem.
Seems.
So a mere 16 seconds in to the second half, and the Vikings have already been penalized. Looking to hopefully not do that again, as Jacob DePete puts it over to Franklin Chambers, who goes up for three. Can't get it. The rebound by Martise Mitchell, who hands off to Joel Baez. Baez gives it to Justin Haynes. Haynes to Barry. Barry goes up for two. It's offline.
Oh, and them's fighting scandally for the ball.
Rebound could not be picked up cleanly, so we have a jump ball. Possession to the Vikings. Jacob Topete inbounds to Frank Chambers, and Chambers puts it immediately right back to Jacob. Back to Frank. They're playing pass around, I suppose. Chambers' three-point is no good. LA Southwest looking for something. That ball will end up going out of bounds.
Yeah, it was an attempt of a save, and he just couldn't get the ball back in time.
It will be a backcourt violation called against LA Southwest because he did touch the ball with his feet behind half court. We have a 30-second timeout taken by the Cougars. Some nice music being played, courtesy of the Long Beach City College SID director Lauren Sturbins.
It gives you such nostalgia hearing it in the radio a lot of times back in the late 2000s.
So now after the first timeout of the second half, 47-42 in favor of the Vikings with 18:47 left. We're only a minute and 13 seconds in. Franklin Chambers will be the one to inbound the ball, and he passes it to Jacob Topete. Topete gets around Brandon Serta, who was being blocked, throws it to Frank Chambers. A scoop and steal attempt by LA Southwest is no good. Chambers gets it, Topete goes up and in.
Yeah, that was a very very fought layup here and there.
The ball now in the hands of Shackelford. Shackelford looking to go around. Over to Mitchell. Mitchell puts it up and gets 2 more on the board for LA Southwest.
That was a nice
Serta.
shot for a big man.
Serta inbounds the ball for the Vikings. Over to Frank Chambers. Chambers passes it to Topete. Topete bounces it back to Serta. Serta fighting, he's being blocked. Over to Kassan White. Kassan's 3-point attempt goes off. Brandon Serta gets the rebound. Went for another 2, but it got blocked and picked off by the Cougars.
Seemed more like a pass.
We have a foul being called momentarily.
It seemed a lot more like a pass rather than a shot.
A hold foul called against Jacob Topete of the Vikings. His second personal and second team foul of the second half. Joel Baez is at the line for LA Southwest, shooting the 2. First one goes in without a problem. If you're enjoying this action, stick around after the conclusion of this first game, as we will also be broadcasting the women's game against LA Southwest. That will come up shortly after the conclusion of the men's game. Jacob Topete's pass to Franklin Chambers is intercepted by Omarion Shackelford, who steals and scores, goes down the court, and puts it for 2.
Decide to go for a stylish dunk there.
Franklin Chambers being tripped up, still retaining possession. Over to Unique Yandel Parker, who gives it to Jacob Topete, back to Parker. Parker back to Topete, Topete to Chambers, Chambers up. And it's no good. That foul called on Unique Yandel Parker. 3rd team foul. Cougars will have the ball out of bounds. No free throws necessary on this one.
All right, and we'll see how they feel about that right after this drive.
To inbound the ball is Joel Baez. Gives it to Alicine Berry. Berry flounders his way around the court. Omarion Shackelford went for 3, and it came just off the rim. Did not go in. Brandon Serta to Jacob Topete. Topete goes up and in for 2.
Well-placed shot there from number 0.
And the Vikings will take their first timeout of the second half. It will be the first full timeout taken. While we are in the course of this timeout, I would like to take this time to let you all know that this broadcast is being produced by the students of the radio television program at Long Beach City College. Myself and my broadcast partner, Edwin Montejo, are both students here at the college, enjoying the opportunity that we have to do this. Along with our broadcast team, who is behind the scenes giving you all these camera angles, working that scoreboard on the bottom half, showing how much time is left, all produced, directed, and broadcast by students of Long Beach City College's radio television program, and directed by Mr. Bob Hirsch.
All right, and we see the Vikings are ready to come back out to the court. And here we are starting off with the Cougars.
So Martise Mitchell will be the one to inbound the ball for the Cougars after the timeout. And he inbounds it to Alicine Berry. Berry takes it over, gives it back to Shackelford, who then goes back to Mitchell.
And the steal from Franklin Chambers.
Chambers gets the steal and score again. That's about the 6th time or so tonight that he has put that steal and score on the board. The ball in the hands of Omarion Shackelford, who passes it over to Alicine Berry. Berry to Justin Haynes. Justin Haynes puts it up for 2. Topete with the rebound.
And here we are with the fast pace into the
Over to
court.
Chambers. Chambers' pass gets tipped as he throws it to Kassan White.
Oh, and a heavy block.
The ball goes out of bounds. It remains in Vikings possession. Topete will inbound it. Over to Kassan White. Kassan throws it back to Jacob. Jacob comes in. Gives it to Unique Yandel Parker, who goes up for two, and it goes offline. Joel Baez gets the rebound. Hands it off to Amarian Shackelford, who goes down the court and gets two more on the board. It's a 1-point game now. We have a foul incoming. Looks to be
No, very rough.
on number 15, Joel Baez. That is the first.
That is his second personal, first team.
That is the first team foul in the second half against the Cougars.
And Cougars coach didn't really seem too happy about that play that number 15 did. Very emotional, angering words coming out. Oh, and what's going on here?
They need to reset the shot clock. The officials are asking for 28 seconds. Shot clock operator does such. Now, Jacob Topete will inbound the ball back to Unique Yandel Parker, who gives it to Franklin Chambers. Back to Jacob, he puts it up for two. It goes in and out of the rim. Rebounded by Shackelford. Passes it to Alicine Berry. Berry walking very slowly. Hands it to Baez. Baez comes up with a little shove. Jumps up. His two goes offline. The rebound by Jacob Topete. He hands it off to Brandon Serta, who goes up. His 2-point is offline. Rebound by Martise Mitchell to Joel Baez to Alicine Berry. Back to Mitchell. Mitchell goes up for three. It's offline. Kassan White gets the rebound, passes it to Brandon Serta, and now Serta to Franklin Chambers. And Chambers has been fouled. The foul was committed by number 0, Amarian Shackelford of the Cougars.
That is his first personal.
His first personal of the game, second team foul in the second half. Vikings remain in possession of the ball, out of bounds. Brandon Serta will inbound to Unique Yandel Parker, to Jacob Topete. Correction to Kassan White, who went up for three, did not get it. Rebound comes down to Franklin Chambers.
Very clean,
He puts it
sweet
back up.
rebound. Very clean, sweet rebound. And pass to Franklin Chambers, and very well placed for the 2 points.
Alicine Berry had the ball. Over to Martise Mitchell. Mitchell to Shackelford. Shackelford looking, 7 seconds on the shot clock. 5 and counting. Southwest has to put it up. They do so. It's offline. Rebound by Unique Yandel Parker. But then a kick from the Cougars sends the ball out of bounds. Brandon Serta inbounds over to Franklin Chambers, who passes it to Jacob Topete. Topete over to Kassan White. Kassan White looking to come in and get two more. We have another foul, this time on number 1, Martise Mitchell.
Mitchell of the Cougars. That is his third personal.
So Kassan White will head to the line for your Vikings.
It seems like the Vikings and the Cougars have switched place into the foul making that's been happening recently.
Kassan's first shot goes up and in with ease. 3 fouls apiece for each team so far in the second half.
All right, now seem they maybe have a equal amount of fouls.
His second shot does just the same. The inbound from Mitchell over to Berry. Berry looking.
Not too far out. Here you go, right there. Right there.
Gives it to Haynes. Haynes to Shackelford. Shackelford goes up, and it's just off the rim.
Foul called to number
Kassan
32,
White
Kassan
gets
White
called
of
for the
Vikings.
foul.
That is his third personal.
His
fourth
third
team foul
personal.
for Long Beach.
All right, now Cougars back into the free throw line.
Shackelford returns to the line for LA Southwest to shoot
Number
one
0,
more.
Amarian Shackelford at the line with 1 remaining.
If he makes it, it'll be a 3-point game, 57-54 in favor of the Vikings. Vikings are looking for a couple substitutions here.
Long Beach substitution.
Kane Young and Jerome Wilson
Number
will
4,
re-enter the
Kane Young,
game.
and number 35, Jerome Wilson.
35. Jacob Topete and Kassan White will exit for the time being. And now that second shot goes in. Jerome Wilson inbounds to Kane Young, the two fresh players off the bench. Kane Young takes it up the near side. Franklin Chambers pass to Jerome Wilson, to Kane Young, to Brandon Serta. And now what appeared to be another questionable call.
Yeah, these calls have been getting way too.
Another questionable call on Kane Young of the Vikings. What appeared to be a sell of a foul by LA Southwest. He does get the call by the official on the far sideline closest to us.
Yeah, these calls seem to be coming way too much out of the blue.
So Frank Chambers inbounds the ball to Kane Young. Kane Young passed it back to Chambers. Chambers now back to Young, back to Chambers. They're playing the roundabout game to Jerome Wilson, back to Chambers. To Young. Young goes up for three. It's offline. Rebound by Wilson. Up and off.
Foul called to
Foul on
Joel
number 15, Joel Baez.
of the Cougars. That is his third personal.
His
fourth
third
team
personal.
Foul for LA Southwest.
Jerome Wilson will be at the line for your Vikings, shooting two. First one goes in without a problem.
Wilson at the line with 1 remaining.
He puts it in. Good. Very easy. Inbounded by Martise Mitchell. Now in possession of Alicine Berry. Berry looks for a pass.
Oh,
it's
and
not
it's
there.
tipped.
Recovered by Kane Young of the Vikings, who puts it up for two. Gets his own rebound, but still can't get it in. Now Brandon Serta with the ball. Over to Jerome Wilson. Over to Franklin Chambers.
Oh, and here
Chambers to
comes
Serta.
the
Serta
Vikings
goes
with
in
the
and
pass
goes
around
up.
and the shoot.
The rebound by Shackelford. Over to Baez. Baez back to Shackelford, who goes up for two, doesn't get it. To Haynes, he doesn't get it. Recovered by Serta. Over to Young. To Chambers. Chambers comes in.
Foul called to number 1, Martise Mitchell of the Cougars.
Martise Mitchell gets called for that foul.
Foul for LA Southwest.
Kane Young will be at the line for the Vikings. Puts in the first one.
Kane Young at the line with 1 remaining.
Substitutions, one for each team. Number 23, Traven Thompson, and number 31, Solomon Ray.
And LA Southwest substitution number 31.
Edwin, have you anything to say so far about about both sides of the ball?
Well, Vikings are very much getting into the passing ball of this, and the Cougars seem to have been getting into the free throw line frequently. And as of now, this drive just shows that, oh, they need to score badly here.
Score is 60-54 in favor of the Vikings. Kane Young with a little offensive shove there. Over to Brandon Serta. So Franklin Chambers, unguarded, goes up for three. Can't put it in. Rebound by Traven Thompson to Brandon Serta. Around the horn they go. Over to Jerome Wilson, who puts it up. It's offline. Recovered by Shackelford. Shackelford goes down the court. Gives a little forearm shiver to Brandon Serta. Can't put it in.
Oh, and the steal from Franklin Chambers.
Another steal for Frank Chambers. He goes up for two and gets it in.
The man does it again. Franklin Chambers, number 11, with the steal, the drive, and the two-point layup.
Vikings electing to take their second full timeout of the game. So let's keep talking about this. I mean, you have the you've got the up-and-coming freshman Franklin Chambers, who is really he's putting on quite a show in terms of getting his rebounds and the steal and score. That's a big one.
Yeah, and it was one of those things I've seen. Me and Franklin, we went to Dominguez High School.
That's right.
And he was only there until his junior year, and then after that he decided to go on and transfer to Jordan, Long Beach, Jordan. And
did you guys hang out a lot when you guys were at Dominguez? Were you guys like best buds?
Well, I was only the announcer for the team. That's all he knew me as, the announcer.
Was he the sort of guy who was doing the same sort of thing? Was he the steal and score guy for Dominguez?
Oh yeah. He was the power forward going in, and he was just living it up, especially. And it's good to see him still holding up the same talent over here in LBCC.
Well, that's good to know. Maybe you'll see him in the NBA someday.
Oh, that'd be amazing. It'd be amazing to see Franklin Chambers in the NBA.
Be looking for him. Out of the timeout, Southwest has the ball. Currently in possession of Joe Baez. Jerome Wilson with the steal. Was looking for a steal and score. Didn't have the opportunity to go up.
Frank
Serta with the ball. Now his pass over to Kane Young goes offline. Taken by LA Southwest.
had the layup, but couldn't exactly get it in for the 2 points.
Foul called on number 23, Traven
A hit called against Traven Thompson of the Vikings, his second personal and sixth team foul. We've got Justin Haynes for Southwest heading to the line to shoot two.
LA Southwest substitution, number 23, Omar Gardner.
Southwest went, as you heard by the official there, Southwest went for a substitution, but the officials are not letting them on the court because these student athletes are not tucking in their jerseys prior to checking in for a substitution.
Yeah, and the players seem to be pretty annoyed by it.
So as you heard there by the official telling the coach, Coach Mack, letting him know that they have been told that they have to make sure their jerseys are tucked in before checking in as a sub. Otherwise, they won't let them in. Chambers with a little tiptoe action. Over to Jerome. Jerome goes up for three. It's offline. Rebound Vikings. Brandon Serta at the three. Now over to Chambers. Chambers comes in to the key.
Oh.
Goes over to Traven. Traven attempts to put it in, but can't get it up in time.
And the foul seemed a bit of physical action there.
A hit called against Solomon Ray of the Cougars. 6th team foul. 9 minutes to play. Traven Thompson will go to the line to shoot 2. Both these teams have been good so far at the line. Now Southwest will bring in their initial sub of number 23, Omar Gardner. He's a 6'3" freshman guard from Charlotte Prep Academy in the Bronx.
In the heart and soul of New York.
The Cougars have...
Oh.
I'm not sure what happened there. Did you happen to...
Very funny
Did you happen to see what happened there?
I did not. It blew past over me, and
something happened that the official didn't like, and he gave the ball back to Southwest.
Again, very questionable decisions that the officials are making in this game tonight.
Well, with basketball, it's so fast-paced that these officials have to make their calls in such a quick amount of time that out of all sports to officiate, I've been told that basketball is one of the hardest sports to officiate because you have to look for so many different things throughout the course of a game. A scream from Coach Barnes. Oh,
Oh, and that seemed like a very hard hit.
Omarion Shackelford went up for 2. Did not come down evenly on his feet. Instead, landed straight on his left side. But he jumped right back up like nothing happened.
Oh, did you see
so
that?
he seems none the worse for it, as he will head to the line to shoot 2.
That is a devoted player right there. Just not letting his damaged...
And the reason that Shackelford goes to the line is because Jerome Wilson was called for a foul. So Shackelford will shoot the 1-and-1 single bonus with 8.5 left in the second half of the game. His first one goes in without an issue. Coach Barnes looking to get a substitution ready to go. And he will do so with number 21, Unique Yandel Parker, coming in for Traven Thompson.
Returns to the contest.
So the Vikings will regain possession. It'll be Kane Young inbounding the ball to what appears to be Franklin Chambers. And Franklin Chambers will keep the ball himself. He's looking for instruction from Barry Barnes.
Taking his time. Over and the ball
Parker
stolen.
looks to go for 2, but the ball gets stolen by Justin Haynes. We have no shot. A travel has been called. So the Vikings will take back that ball and have another shot at it.
Vikings ball.
Brendan Serta inbounds to Franklin Chambers. Chambers passes it to Kane Young. Kane Young over to Jerome Wilson. Jerome to Frank. Frank goes up. His shot off the line.
And the attempt for the save was very was miscalculated.
Kalen Arnold gets the rebound pass and goes over and scores. Unique Parker goes up, puts it in for 2.
And there was a bit of a semi-risk there for the layup, but it seemed to have been worth it.
Justin Haynes inbounded the ball to Omarion Shackelford. Shackelford passed it over to Kalen Arnold, who puts it up for 2. No good.
And here comes Franklin.
Rebound to Franklin Chambers, who goes up, puts it in, but
this guy is back-to-back in flames.
Foul called on number 0.
Count the basket for Franklin Chambers on another rebound and score. Foul was called against Omarion Shackelford of the Cougars.
The three-point play.
So Chambers is going to go to the line in an attempt to convert
Yeah, and he has
the three-point play.
And he has to conserve all of his energy for the free throw.
Chambers is up and it's in. Shackelford inbounds to Omar Gardner. Gardner takes it. He's got his defense. Count the basket for Omar Gardner.
That is his fourth personal, 8th foul.
Fourth personal foul on Unique Yandel Parker.
For the basket.
8th team foul for the Vikings.
Omar Gardner. He's at the line shooting 1.
Omar Gardner does not complete the three-point play. Justin Haynes grabs it and puts it up for 2 more. Brandon Serta inbounds over to Kane Young. Kane Young with just a little handoff to Chambers. Chambers to his buddy Jerome. Jerome goes up for 3. Can't get it. Rebound picked up by Justin Haynes. Omar Gardner to Omarion Shackelford. Can't get it.
Number 23, Traven Thompson returns.
Traven Thompson.
Oh, and it seems
will
number
re-enter the
23
game.
from the Cougars is attempting to block here.
The Cougars. That's interesting. The Cougars, you
The
mean.
Cougars.
The Cougars.
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 But yeah, they seem to be blocking in order to conserve time so that they can catch up with the scoreboard.
Kane Young goes up for 3. His attempt is off the money. That's one thing that has not been the same in the second half so far for the Vikings. The three-point shots have not gone their way. They try. Franklin Chambers with another rebound. His shot doesn't go in, but he passes it to Kane Young. Kane Young will go in and get it.
That layup was purposely calculated. And another frustrating foul here.
Foul called on
And now
number
Kane
4,
Young gets
That is his
called
second
for
personal,
his
9th
second
team
personal team foul, the
the
9th team foul for the Vikings. Not sure.
Number 0, Omarion.
Yeah, the Vikings here look frustrated. They don't really.
They're not
agree.
they're not agreeing with the calls.
They're not agreeing.
We'll put it that way.
Yeah, we'll put it. Not necessarily agreeing.
So Shackelford is at the line with 1 to go. Kassan White will re-enter the game for Jerome Wilson.
Should have been a violation.
Excuse me, folks.
Shackelford puts up both his shots. They go in. 69-65 in favor of the Vikings. Put inbounds by Kane Young to Franklin Chambers. Chambers is just going to walk his way across half court.
Yeah, he must kill the time in order if they want to
To
keep the
Kassan White,
lead.
back to Chambers.
Oh, and
That pass was offline, picked off by Solomon Ray. Franklin Chambers with a rebound steal to Kane Young.
And it's a foul on the.
Another foul called against the Vikings.
Oh.
Correction against the Cougars.
Yeah, you had me
Number
confused
22, Kalen Arnold, gets called for his second personal and 8th team foul. Kane Young will be at the line, shooting the 1-and-1. His first shot off the money. That's okay, Kane. It's
Oh,
all
yeah.
right. Showing
he's
a little
leaving
bit
low.
of showing a little bit of frustration with himself. It's okay. Just take your time and you'll be good. Second shot goes in. Coach Barnes will take his next 30-second timeout.
By the Vikings.
So, while we talk about, while we're in the timeout, what is there to talk about with 5.5 left in the game? What can we talk about?
Well, we can start off with these fouls that we've been seeing lately, coming in back-to-back for both teams. And there seeming to be tons of disagreements and a lot of very powerful words from the coaches, and it just seems like one of those games. And hopefully, I had Dominguez Dons in the brain, but hopefully our Long Beach City Vikings.
The Dominguez High School mascot is the Dons?
Yes, sir, it is the Dominguez Dons. That's why some of us call it the Dirty D.
Okay, so as we come out of the timeout, it'll be LA Southwest ball. Inbounded by Omar Gardner to Kalen Arnold. Now in possession of Omarion Shackelford.
And
his pass to Omar Gardner goes a little bit low. Gardner can't hold on to it. So it's Long Beach ball.
Yeah, and Southwest coach is telling him to, lock him up.
Brandon Serta shimmying around midcourt. Over to Franklin Chambers. Over to Kane Young, who goes up and sinks the first 3-point.
And it seems like these were the points he needed in order to make up for his.
The first 3-point shot of the second half for the Vikings belongs to Kane Young.
And it seems like those were the points he needed to make up for his deficit.
Rebound on the ground. And we have a jump ball.
Jump ball.
Possession, LA Southwest.
Yeah, Vikings coach, not a happy camper at the moment.
Coach Barnes is looking for an explanation of sorts, but couldn't get one.
Southwest substitution number 1, Martise Mitchell returns.
Re-entering the game for the Cougars, number 1, Martise Mitchell. And now the officials were asking for 20 seconds. Now they want them to reset to 25. A little bit of shot clock confusion.
What's going on here now?
What have we got?
Oh,
Franklin Chambers gets called for a foul.
That is his third personal, 10th
His
team
third
foul
personal.
for Long Beach.
10th team foul.
Number 1.
So the
Mitchell
Cougars
at the
now
line,
go on the
shooting
double bonus.
bonus.
Martise Mitchell will be shooting the first double bonus of the night for either team.
you hate to see it happen.
Not sure what the foul was.
Oh, and
Kane Young with a little bit of a can't really call it a cocky move, but he was just grabbing the ball and running it back around to the official.
simple mistake.
Maybe he thought it was just a 1, so he was trying to go for a rebound. This time he does get the rebound. Now he's going to come down the court. Over to Kassan White. Kassan White steps in the key, puts it up. His shot goes offline.
Oh, it was nice maneuvers. It was a nice spin, but sadly he could not.
No shot.
He could not execute.
We have another foul.
Foul called on number 32, Kassan White.
Kassan White gets
That is
called
his fourth personal
for his
foul.
4th personal.
Number 23, Omar Gardner at the line.
Omar
shooting
Gardner,
the double bonus.
Gardner now at the line shooting the second double bonus.
Long Beach
Re-entering
substitution,
for your Vikings, number 21,
Parker returns.
Unique Yandel Parker,
LA Southwest
and for LA
substitution,
Southwest, number 2, Alicine Berry. This has definitely been one contest of strength and numbers.
It certainly has, Sean.
Kane Young inbounds the ball to Franklin Chambers. Chambers taking his time coming up the court.
With 4 minutes.
Back to Kane. Kane to Brandon Serta. Serta looking, nearing the out of bounds marker, but stays inbounds. Over to Kane Young. Kane Young goes up. Can't get it in. Brandon Serta with the rebound.
Second chance.
Over to Franklin Chambers. Chambers backing up by half court. Make sure not to step over the line, Franklin. That's not what you want to do.
Yeah, a backcourt violation would not be at anyone's interest, especially if you're a Viking. Especially around this time.
6 seconds on the shot clock. Vikings have to put it up. Kane Young goes up, a big hit.
Oh.
And the foul, Kane Young is hurt, shaken up a little bit after taking that drop.
All right, and
Score the basket for Kane.
And he gets right back up.
Takes a second to recompose himself.
Yeah, so far that's the second big slam that we've seen tonight.
And now, just like the super trooper he is, he's still shaking it off a little bit. His lower back is hurting him. That's where he landed the hardest, was right on his lower back, right on the small of his back.
It may affect the way he shoots this ball, but let's hope for the best.
He's gonna shake it off and head to the line to convert the three-point play, or attempt to do so. Shot goes up, and it's offline. Rebound by Justin Haynes. Over to Omar Gardner. Gardner goes up, puts it in. Score the basket. The foul called against Unique Yandel Parker. Unique Yandel Parker has now been fouled out of this game, taking his 5th personal. So he now will be out for the remainder of this game.
Omar Gardner. He's at the line.
Oh, and you hate to see it. A very key player.
Good job, Unique. You did good.
Trayvon Thompson returns to the contest for the Vikings.
A good performance, a strong performance, as Unique will walk it off a little bit.
Yeah, you
Omar
hate to see
Gardner
it for
will
the
head to the
Vikings.
line to shoot the double bonus. He puts it in. And we have a 30-second timeout taken by LA Southwest. So Unique Yandel Parker will exit this game a little early than he wanted to.
Yeah.
With 3:16 left.
Yeah, and this foul seems to be a very, very critical mistake for the Vikings, as we are now in 3 minutes and 16 seconds.
The Vikings now lose one of their key power players on that foul, with Parker being fouled out now. However, we have seen it that just because one guy gets fouled out, that doesn't stop them from continuing a strong offense.
You're right, Sean. It should not bring down the spirits of the rest of our Vikings here.
So what you've got to think now, as we look at Coach Barnes giving the game plan to his team, you have to wonder, what is it that Coach Barnes is instilling in his gentlemen here on what they need to do for the remainder of this game to secure the victory in the last home conference game of the season?
And they got to be cautious with what these fouls can bring to them, as it can conclude into almost a tie game to possibly them losing the lead here in the second half.
So we have Trayvon Thompson that comes into the game for the Vikings to replace Unique Yandel Parker. Over on the far side basket is Franklin Chambers to inbound to Brandon Serta, who does have a blocker in Omar Gardner. He gets the ball back to Frank Chambers. Chambers again taking his time. We've reached 3 minutes and counting. Chambers into the key and up 4-2. Alicine Berry gets the rebound. He hands it to Gardner. Gardner goes up, puts it in.
Omar Gardner for
Two more.
Seems to be a miscalculation with the time.
It's a scoring miscalculation. It is a scoring miscalculation from what was being said. It looks as though they might have given 2 points to the wrong team here.
They was down one. They got more than one. Yeah, that's the score.
A little lull in the action. A momentum shift here. As the lead official comes over to the stat line table to confirm what the score is. We are good to go, according to the head official. 77-71 in favor of the Vikings. Kane Young inbounds to Chambers, who passes it back. And now they play the roundabout game back and forth. They play catch with the ball. 2.5 to go. Chambers not in very much of a hurry. Trying to run down the clock.
And they seem to have added into the score. And number 23 seems to disagree with this other foul.
No basket for Franklin Chambers.
Franklin Chambers headed to the line, shooting for double bonus.
But Frank Chambers will head to the line for the Vikings to shoot their first double bonus of the game. Gardner was called for his first personal of the evening. Chambers puts the first one in. Gardner comes over to the far side official asking for an explanation as to why they called the foul. The Vikings bench cheers as Omar Gardner gets sent out. Joel Baez returns.
Yeah, and he is frustrated, and as to exchanging some words to his coach.
Chambers goes up, puts both of them in. Southwest now down by 8 with just over 2 minutes to go. Vikings looking to not foul in the hopes to avoid letting Southwest get in the area. And as I say that, the Vikings get called for another foul, this time on Kassan White.
Foul called on number 32, Kassan White of the Vikings. That is his 5th personal foul.
Kassan White has now been fouled out of this game. Another power player gone for the Vikings.
So that's 2 players for the Vikings and 1 for
Jerome
the...
Wilson will now be the one to take his place.
Number 21, Justin Haynes at the line, shooting 2.
Justin Haynes for the Cougars will be at the line.
So that's 2 players out for the Vikings and 1 player out for the Cougars.
No, I wouldn't say that Gardner was taken out. But I wouldn't say that he was forced to come out of the game. Gardner was replaced by his coach. So he can still come back in.
Forgive me, my mistake.
But the Vikings have lost 2 of their key power players with Unique Yandel Parker and Kassan White, both being fouled out with 5 personals.
Oh, and then here comes...
Now the Vikings are really putting on the pressure.
Yeah, here comes Southwest with
Around
their
the
heavy
horn.
blocking, double coverage.
LA Southwest.
Oh, it's double coverage on every player with the ball now.
LA Southwest is going crazy with their defense.
And it seems to be the Vikings' ball now. And they were able to avoid all that pressure. And it seems like a timeout.
Full timeout taken by the Vikings. It was called by Kane Young to sort of slow the momentum once again. With it being a full timeout, that's a minute in length. And we have a minute 43 left to go in this first game of the men's-women's doubleheader. Stick around. Shortly after the conclusion of the men's game, we will have the women's game. But while we are in this full timeout, do you have any last-minute thoughts?
There is such thing as too much pressure against a player, and that will go on ahead and give them a bit of an advantage, as they may be able to have you in a desperate situation in order to have them take over the ball until the next play.
All right, so coming out of the timeout, Franklin Chambers will inbound the ball for the Vikings to Jerome Wilson, back to Chambers. Chambers goes in the key, goes up for two. It's offline. Rebound by number 21, Justin Haynes. Haynes to Baez. Baez to Barry. Barry goes up. It's offline. Rebound by Haynes to Mitchell. Mitchell to Barry. Barry to Mitchell. Mitchell to Haynes, and we have another foul. This time, it's on Kane Young of the Vikings for a hit. His third personal.
Number 21, Justin
Haynes will go to the line, shooting two, back in the double bonus. First one is offline, off the rim. 79-72 in favor of the Vikings, up by 7 with a minute 17 left to play. Vikings looking to finish off their home game schedule.
Oh, and that was clearly a fair foul there.
This time the foul gets called on Justin Haynes. So Haynes gets fouled and then fouls himself. So Kane Young will come over to the opposite side of the court to shoot the double bonus for the Vikings.
Back into the free throw line for number 4.
First one goes up and in. Make it an even 80.
More.
Coach Barnes yelling at his guys to continue the defense to finish out this game with 70 seconds
That's more
and going.
Double coverage. And so
Now Southwest will take their final timeout of the game.
with a minute and 9 seconds. This is a very intense final minute here.
For the second game. Exiting Southwest's final timeout of the game, they will take possession. Inbounding will be Joel Baez. Vikings get fouled again.
Oh, this is looking very
Kane
crucial.
Young gets called for his fourth personal, this time on a block on Alicene Berry.
Yes, this is looking very crucial right now for the Vikings.
So Berry now heads to the line, Didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah, they must stop themselves from giving each other these fouls, or else it may end up backfiring.
Barry will be at the line shooting 2 in the double bonus.
Watch over the back, ref. Four across, Danny. Four across. Frank, four across.
So Kane Young now in danger as he is at 4 personal fouls. One more on him, and he will become the 3rd Viking to exit this game early. We have a flop called against Alicine Berry of the Cougars.
Foul called on number 2, Allison Berry of the Cougars. That is his 4th personal foul.
His 4th personal.
Brandon Serta, number 2.
Brandon Serta for your Vikings will head to the line to shoot 2. Vikings are looking fairly healthy here to finish this game out. With 1:06 left. Southwest needs 9 to tie. No basket.
What was the foul here?
The foul was called on Franklin Chambers.
Of the Vikings, that is his 4th personal foul.
His 4th personal now.
Number 2, Allison Berry. at the line.
Barry returns to the free throw line, shooting the double bonus. His first one goes off.
And we have more deep coverage, and it was tipped.
Oh my. Southwest is doing everything they can to get in this game.
Oh, and here's
late.
Franklin.
Chambers goes up for 2. It's off. We do apologize for the language being heard over the broadcast.
Yeah.
Coach Barnes is a very energetic man and likes to express his feelings. So when he does so, he does tend to let out some things.
Yeah,
typically,
for now, his emotions are getting into him right now.
Typically, he's not used to having a broadcast team right next to him. So the foul there was called on Traven Thompson of the Vikings. So LA Southwest now is down to a 5-point deficit, possibly down to a 4-point. Should Martise Mitchell make his second free throw, and he did.
Full timeout taken by the Cougars.
Cougars will take another timeout. I had thought that they had already used their final timeout, but this is possibly it here. As we have some Tupac playing in the background during this timeout. California Love. So now you have to wonder, Coach Barnes is now most likely telling his guys, like, hey, you've got 40 seconds in this game to put up or shut up, I guess you can say. Making sure that they can take home the win and not give up a loss.
Yes.
They're up by 4. We're going to get a replay of the foul that was called on Traven Thompson.
It seemed to have touched the palm.
Thompson went up at the same time, and the contact was made.
Yeah,
so
contact with the palms is very crucial.
So they do foul. Coach Barnes throws his throws his whiteboard down in frustration. Vikings will remain in possession of the ball, out of bounds. It's Kane Young to inbound to Franklin Chambers. Chambers goes around the horn. Back to Young, back to Chambers. Chambers now comes up, half court.
Spin move.
Ball is loose. Jump ball, possession Vikings.
Jump ball, possession Vikings.
They got lucky there. That jump ball could have gone either way. Franklin Chambers will be the one to inbound with 28.4 seconds. $18 seconds on the shot clock is what the official is asking for. Now Franklin Chambers will inbound the ball to Brandon Serta. Back to Chambers. Chambers comes back out to Serta. Serta with double coverage, and he throws it away. Back to Southwest, now recovered by Jerome Wilson. Wilson to Serta, and we have a foul against Justin Haynes of the Cougars. So this could be the nail in the coffin for the Cougars in their chance to possibly tie the game or win it. Brandon Serta puts in his first of 2 in the double bonus. 12.5 seconds remaining. Brandon goes up, puts it in. Vikings back up by 6. 10 seconds down. Southwest goes out of bounds. Vikings will get the ball back.
Yeah,
and that should do it. 7.3 seconds left. The Vikings don't really have to do anything.
You're going to wrap it up real fast. Get the final score. Stand by for the ladies' game is next.
5 seconds. Vikings aren't doing anything here. They're going to run the timeout. And that will conclude the men's game. Your final score, Long Beach 85, LA Southwest 79. Congratulations to these fine student athletes on the victory. Stay tuned for the women's game of the doubleheader. We will be right back.